Well, good morning, friends, and welcome to my channel. I am Crystal, and this is Homemaking on the Homestead, and today is Friday, so it is Coffee with Crystal. It is also the last few days before Christmas, so I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about organizing and planning for 2024 and showing you some of the things that I am going to use, as well as a little devotional talk and hopefully encouraging talk about letting our light shine. All right, you guys, grab your cup of coffee and let's chat. So as you can see, I am wearing my new chicken apron. I am just loving my new aprons. They feel so good, nice and fresh. Makes me realize how thin and stained and all that my old aprons had gotten. They've gotten a lot of good use. So I was happy to get all these new ones made. I shared about that in my video on Tuesday. So if you haven't seen that, you can go back and take a peek at that one. My morning today has been fairly easygoing. I got up and did my daily, routines and such, and then the sun came out, so it is so bright and beautiful outside. I am just loving it. It's cold and windy, but very beautiful out there, so that's been a real blessing. So I always like to start my video out by asking you guys, what's for dinner? What are you planning on making for dinner tonight? I have some leftovers. Last night, hubby and I barbecued a couple steaks. I had a loaf of French bread, just a few slices that were left over, and I roasted some green beans. So we finished off the French bread. I still have enough steak for us to eat tonight, and I still have enough roasted green beans. So I just need another side dish for this meal, and I think I'm just gonna bake some potatoes. I have like 3 small potatoes that I'm gonna toss in the oven and just let those bake. And I think that will make a perfect dinner tonight and make it really super easy as well. I was thinking about doing some baking today. I wanted to bake some cookies, maybe some chocolate chip cookies or peanut butter cookies or something like that. That sounded like a good project to work on. However, I have grandkids coming in a day or two, and we're going to make a whole bunch of Christmas cookies together. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a fun day with them. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I don't know. I've always got people that'll take my cookies, and I can always put them in the freezer as well. What kind of things do you have going on in your kitchen? Are you doing any baking? How's your Christmas baking coming along? Are you preparing to make Christmas dinner? Are you serving a Christmas dinner at your home, or are you going someplace else with that? Also, I was curious too, do you guys have a traditional Christmas dinner that you make? Thanksgiving's very traditional with the turkey and the gravy and mashed potatoes and all that. I kind of change up my Christmas menu quite often, and I try to do things that I can bake and cook ahead of time or that are really easy to put together. So by Christmas Day, we are enjoying those leftovers because we've typically, as a family, had our meal on Christmas Eve. So I know I have a ham in the freezer, and I was thinking of doing a potato casserole, and I'm still working on a lot of the other side dishes and things like that. So I'm not exactly sure. I think once again it's going to be a fairly small group for Christmas, so I don't even know yet. Even though it's just right around the corner, I'm still not sure. So I think I'll need to spend some time today working on Christmas menu planning as well. In the comments below, make sure you let me know all about your Christmas dinner, what you're cooking, where you're going, what you're doing, and any of those other types of fun things. This time of year also, because Christmas is going to be here before we know it, and then it's going to be over, and we're going to be marching into 2024. Hard to believe, isn't it? But I always like to think this time of year about organizing my days, like as in daily planners, notebooks, and things like that to keep track of all the information. I don't have a lot to keep track of like I did when I had my 8 kids at home. Life with hubby and I is very simplistic at this point. Neither of us have doctor appointments that we have to go to on a regular basis. We don't have outside commitments that we have to go to, and anything that is something that we would go and do. We already know about it. It's not like I really need to write it down. I really, over the last few years, have had to try to fine-tune what is the perfect planner for a stay-at-home wife in her empty nest years. What would that be? And I swear, one of these years, I am going to make my own planner. I think that it has just taken me time to kind of come to a conclusion on what is the most important thing for me. And I do like to have a calendar too, because I like to be able to look at the calendar as I plan out my videos and as I look at the month ahead. We do have some obligations, like helping out my in-laws who are in their 80s. It's a 5-hour drive, so it does take a good chunk of our time. I need to keep that in my schedule and keep that in the forefront of my mind, so that as I plan videos, if I'm going to be gone while a video is due, make sure that that's out in time. In that case, I do like to have a calendar just so that I can look at the month ahead. But other than that, you know, it's what I have found. I'm going to show you first what I've used in the past, what I've tried, and then what I came back to. So I'm going to show you first something that I used to use. I think this is what I used before I got heavily into YouTube videos. I tried to start my channel several years ago, and I realized that my life was just still too busy for me to be able to incorporate that. How these full-time moms with big families have YouTube channels, I literally have no idea, but because it's a lot of work, and so is raising kids. But this was back in the days I had my blog. So what this is a 5-subject notebook. And I divided this notebook into things like menu planning, and I just put these tags on here myself. I printed them out and just taped them on, and I had projects I was working on. At the time, I still had a garden, and so it was my garden planning section. And I had my blog, so I would write down notes and things that I would want to blog about. And I used this quite heavily. I would write notes in here, in the little side pockets. I would save recipes, I would save other bits of information. That worked really well for me, and I actually like this a lot. But then in my thinking of, well, I don't need to have anything quite so elaborate, so let me try other things. And I'm only going to briefly spend a little bit of time on the other things that I've tried. And I've shared these in other videos. I bought a Christian planner for women in 2022. And while I did use it some, I mostly would pull out the pages and use them as prompts, like the prayer journal sections and the Bible study sections and, you know, sermon notes or something like that, daily planner. I would just pull those out and stick them into whatever else I was using. Otherwise, I did not really, as you can see, lots of blank pages. I didn't really utilize this in the way that I thought I would. This was another planner that I tried. It just has a nice scripture verse, looked pretty, and it was not very expensive. So, you know, I didn't have to spend a lot, but it had a nice spread out calendar that I was able to keep all my monthly notes on. But what I found is that other than the monthly calendar aspect of it, again, I really didn't use it much. So I thought, well, I don't need that. Last year I bought this Faith Works planner from Joy over at She Builds Her Home. And I will say that I actually enjoyed several things about this planner. And I did tend to, you know, fill it out, use it more. It was a very nice planner, so she did an amazing job on it. Again though, does it fit the need? And that was what I couldn't really determine. I determined that it wasn't really fitting my need. So what fits my need today? This is what I tried last year, as well as buying that planner. I bought these notebooks, okay? And I bought a set of 4. They are A5 size, so that means like 8 by 6 or something like that. And my 4th one is right here with my notes for today's video. And I found that I absolutely loved doing it this way. You know, I am a note person that just likes to be able to open something up and write down whatever it is at that moment that I am thinking about or I need to keep track of. These have been fantastic, and I've almost filled all 4 of them up. You know, I had menu thoughts, I have grocery lists and things that I put in there. And to keep my place, I know they're hard to see right now, I would use paper clips so that I could, you know, determine where I was and what kind of notes I wanted to be able to look back and refer to. I wrote my to-do lists. I wrote my video plans in this. They have a place up here that you can mark the date, you know, little boxes, so you could circle whatever the day is and write your date in there. I never really used that aspect of it. These are a wonderful size. I can take them to the grocery store with me. They're great to sit on, you know, the table next to my chair in the living room so that they're there as I'm writing down notes or, you know, just thought planning. I have used them as journals, kind of with different colors. I could say, oh, you know, that's my journal. So I have journal pages written out in them. I have documented our travels and our trips that we took, so I could go back and match them with pictures to share with the kids, my kids and my family. I have loved them for just the variety of things that I can do with them. So the only thing that they don't have is the calendar. And you know, today, if you're a person that uses the calendar on your phone, that would work, reminders and dates. I know a lot of people do that. And as much as I love my phone, I don't tend to do that a whole lot. So it's in any place you go online, you can find printable calendars and just print off a daily calendar in various sizes. You can hang them on the refrigerator. You can also fold them and tuck them into the notebook. This year, I have already ordered a new set from the same company. I don't know if it's Suni or Sunny, I don't know. I'll show you the name. And I can leave a link at the bottom too of the ones that I ordered for this year, which are different colors, so I don't mix them up with this year's. But I have ordered another set of 4 of these. I also have got myself some new pens, some blue pens and some colored pens. I don't know about you, but I just enjoy starting out the new year with fresh notebooks and fresh pens. That should be arriving soon, and I'll share more about that in another video, or at least show them to you. That has been what I've come down to as my favorite way of organizing my year, is just simply using notebooks. At this point, I think if I was to create my own notebook planner, it would be something that was the A5 size. It would be a monthly calendar, so you can have the month at a glance. It would have a lot of spaces in there for writing, a lot of just notebook pages for writing. Maybe some tabs on it so that you could keep your place a little easier with various tabs. And I think that would pretty much be the perfect notebook for me. I don't know. And I do like the fact with the spiral binding, because they're really nice to just be able to lay open and put down on a table, especially if you're writing grocery list or you're referring back to it or something like that. So anyway, that's what I have discovered for this stage of my life that works the best. So I would love to know, what do you use for your daily planning, and how are you preparing for 2024 with planners, organizers, or anything else like that? That would be, it would be fun to be able to just see what other people do too and get your feedback. So one of the most enjoyable parts of Christmas time to me are the Christmas lights. I have my tree all lit up. It's fun to be in town and drive around in the evenings and see all the houses lit up. And the lights of Christmas have always been something that I've really enjoyed. So this got me thinking for today's little, I don't know if you want to call it a devotional, but just today's little I just try to always share something that is encouraging to all of us. And so for today's little bit, I wanted to talk about letting our light shine. In a few days, the year is going to be over, and it's going to be time to unplug those Christmas lights. And it will be all over. But Jesus said, "I am the light of the world." And I think that that is something that we need to remember throughout the whole year, not just at Christmas time as we see these lights, but let that be a reminder to us to let our light shine. I wanted to read to you this scripture from Matthew 5, verses 14 to 16. "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." And I was thinking of all the ways that we as Christian women can allow our light to shine. One of them is our actions, the things that we do and the things that people see within us. We need to be always kind, always compassionate, always understanding, and giving of a lot of grace, so that when people see that in us, they say, "What is that? What makes her different?" One of the other ways that I have in the last few years made a point of, as a way of letting my light shine, is to smile. Is to smile at people. As you walk through the store, or town, or wherever you're at, there are so many grumpy people out there. And I think there's also people that deal with a lot of heaviness, sadness. And it's amazing to me that I have looked at some of the most grumpy looking faces, sad looking faces, and all I did as I was pushing my grocery cart is to smile at them as I passed by. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen their whole face, just everything, their whole countenance just changed, just simply by a smile. And those are small ways. All of us can do that. Another one is helping others. I think it's always good to be ready and available to help, whether it's your kids, whether it's a friend, whether it's neighbors, to the best of your ability, doing what you are able to do, but to always be willing to help others. The light of Jesus is a symbol of his hope, his truth, his presence, and let that be seen in our actions and the things that we do for people around us. To people around us. I would encourage you ladies that as we move into 2024, that we all find ways to shine. We all find ways to be that light of Jesus and to show that to the world, especially the dark world that we live in today, by any and all various ways that, whatever they come, the opportunity to spread the gospel, the opportunity to show hospitality, the opportunity to help people, the opportunity to take a meal to a new mom, whatever it might be, in whatever capacity it might be. And like I said, even something as little as smiling, show the light and the love of Jesus to all people that come into our lives and come into our home. Okay, ladies, it is time for me to move on with my morning, which is either going to be baking cookies or sewing some potholders. I just want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas to you and to your families, and that you have just a blessed holiday ahead. I am not sure right now what my posting schedule will look like next week, because we do have things going on, and we are going to be out of town for a little bit. So I'm not really sure how it's going to look. I will keep you informed on my community tab, so make sure you check on that. I hope you guys have an awesome and blessed day today. You have an amazing weekend and an incredibly blessed Christmas day. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.